Celebration of the life of a legend throughout the entire Caribbean and especially here on St. Martin. Our very own Errol, the King Arrow Dolphin.
Radio broadcasting, newspaper printing, everybody hot on the scene. Cause the king is coming back again. People start to born. What is this after? Big boys start to grow. It's to see them more. If it me the after, tell them the king say cool down. Cause hotter than pepper, worse than fireman, handling them without fear. They got to sing.
Vision of rapture burst on my sight of. When you think there's a tomorrow, there isn't no tomorrow. To live and to suffer for someone you care for, who ain't here no longer, who was called home by the Father. Where you are in heaven, I'm sure you seeing how much we miss you. So this song is for you.
I came here to pay respect to the King Arrow's family and to thank them for lending him to us for all of these years, for making a contribution to the art form. As you know, Arrow was a writer and a singer. I'm just a writer. And year after year, we write. We don't write for fame. We don't write for money. We don't write for recognition. We write because we love the art form. All we ask is that the people that we write for produce the best that they can. So we go into the studio and we make sure that the presentation, that the articulation, that the diction of the song is well done.
This is kind of a show every morning. You know what, the question, and the question in the morning, the one is getting. She talk, ducking, when she turn the rock, ducking, then she had to duck, ducking, when she turn the rock, ducking, it was 4 o'clock, when she turned the rock, they were really running, paddling, falling, stepping, ducking, oi! I thought that number one will surely be me. I thought I could be what I wanted to be. I thought I would build on life's sinking sand. This stage is the new stage, but if I remember back in, I think it was 1993 or 94 or 95, somewhere around there, when we were the Carnival Development Foundation, we went to see King Arrow and we said we want to do something with this stage. The stage is too low, the stage is too small. And like a real carnival lover, he's always been. King Arrow down at BBW went and see the boss, Dick Lawrence, come back out. He said, Mike, don't worry about a thing. We donating all the cement, all the blocks that you need to fix this stage. So this stage means a lot to me, and it means a lot to St. Martin because of King Arrow. King Arrow has done a tremendous amount of work for a lot of people, and a lot of us maybe don't know about it. When people were in trouble trying to build their little house or trying to build their little store, and they had enough money to pay for all the cement and all the blocks,
they end up at BBW, and it was always King Arrow there for the small man, helping one family at a time to help them get what they need, to build what they had to build, and they would pay how they could pay. Again, old man Dick Lawrence used to say, Arrow, I leave it up to you. He said, boss, don't worry about it. When I tell you it's good, it's good. Arrow was a man of the people. We all owe Arrow a lot of gratitude. And we thank the good Lord for having spared his life as long as he has. We wish the family a lot of strength because it is a huge loss. And I wish everyone well tonight, and thanks for coming over.
Where you lead me, Lord, I will go. I don't know, please, 'cause you're who's in control. There's no limit to what you can do, 'cause it all belongs to me. Yes, it all belongs to you. You're almighty and all powerful, 'cause it all belongs to you. Yes, it all belongs to you. Let Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. I'm not worried about
We having a function this Christmas season, boy. Festival Village, 8 p.m. December 8th. Come win prizes with family and friends. You don't want to miss this, seeing that it is time for Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Ham and turkey, airline tickets, hotel stays, Christmas goodies, Santa's bag with more to win. Time for Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Yes, folks, the Lion Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular is on Saturday, December the 8th at the Festival Village. Tickets are available at the Lion's Den, at Van Dorp, at Big B Photo Studio, and from all Lion members, going at only $10, $20, or €10. So folks, get your tickets in time. It's going to be quite a spectacular bingo. Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
Tell them, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
It was the most powerful Atlantic storm in years, a hurricane 500 kilometres in diameter with winds of over 300 kilometres an hour. In September 2017, Hurricane Irma caused massive destruction across the Lesser Antilles in the Caribbean, amongst the worst hit the island of St. Martin. It is a tiny island of just 87 square kilometres, divided, in fact, in two. The south belongs to the Netherlands, the north to France, and it was the French part which was the worst affected. Despite these images, the human toll relatively low, just 11 people killed. But the damage was huge, 95% of buildings destroyed. No water, no electricity, no communications. And all that amid widespread looting. It left residents feeling abandoned.
We're as French as anyone else. We really need help. No one's here.
I really don't know what the government is doing. We're asking for help in every single neighbourhood. These poor people need help. Sooner or later, you have to understand that people are getting angry.
A year after the catastrophe, St. Martin has lost nearly 8,000 inhabitants, 20% of the population. Those who could afford to move and settle elsewhere, well, they left. Reconstruction is incredibly slow. Tourism, which was the main industry, is at a standstill. Still then, many inhabitants living in the ruins of their former lives. Julie Dungelhoff and Chris Moore revisit St. Martin for France 24.
Everything changed, the bedroom, everything gone. The doors, I was like, where was it? I didn't even find the remnants of the door. That day, the 5th of September 2017, I was standing in my kitchen and I saw these birds. They call them man of war. They are blackbird, a lot of them. And they keep going in the direction, that's the direction where the hurricane came from. My mother and my grandmother would tell us, on Oran Bay there's a hole, we call it the chateau.
When the sea go off, and she turn over and come in, she go inside of that long hole. But when she's coming out, you hear a big, tremendous noise.
In a hurricane, you can always tell it gets louder and louder.
Irma was the worst hurricane I has ever seen in 90 years. St. Martin must come back. This is our island. This is what belongs to us.
The aptly named Sandy Ground, a slither of land between sea and lagoon. It's here on the French side of this little island that Hurricane Irma hit hardest. And 1 year on, the houses and streets are much as it left them. Barely a building survived unscathed.
All these things gotta be picked up. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done here in Senegal. Lots of work to be done here.
Former district leader George Richardson is 67 and has lived here all his life. He runs an association that helps the marginalised.
Senegal has always been a district that went to come to the local authorities, have been always left for the last.
35,000 people live on the French side of an island which lived through colonialism and slavery. Sandy Ground is home to immigrants from across the Caribbean. Most here live off basic benefits. Work is often over the border on the Dutch side. This is a transient population on the sidelines of the system.
We can't get insurance for our homes down here because we don't have the title for our land. And that was is making the problem. You got people living down here over 70 years.
When Irma struck, 60% of households here were uninsured. With cyclone season once again upon them, Residents are digging into their own pockets or relying on charity to patch up their homes.
What you say, my brother? Everything all right? Okay, man.
Here, conversations are in English, rules in French.
This country is not an independent country that everybody could do what they want. We got to listen to France. If we want the money from France, we got to listen to France. That's the situation here in St. Martin, because we just don't know our rights. We can't speak the French good, so everybody that comes in that can speak the French, they realize we're not speaking the French and they turn us around.
So every time I go to the office, always busy. Always busy. So I don't depend on the world, I depend on God. Period.
The future here is uncertain. Paris has declared sandy ground an at-risk area. And the fear is the local government will now call time on construction. Officials want to see an end to homes like this one, close to the water, already flimsy, and now hurricane damaged.
The patio was totally destroyed. This is all debris from Irma. All that was carried by the sea.
Maribel comes from the Dominican Republic and was evacuated at the last minute as Irma stormed in.
Thank God I'm alive. That's the most important thing. If I stayed here, I'd have been killed.
Now home alone with her dogs, Maribel used to spend her days working menial jobs in hotels.
Everything here depends on tourism. But since the disaster, the few visitors that have come have done so just to see the level of destruction. Without tourism, we'll all suffer.
Sin turismo, esto cae.
Hey, Ma. How you doing? You busy?
I hear. Just paying some bills, taking care of business. You know what it is?
I know. You're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for? I need to know who you're for.
Contact Wib today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Whoever we meet in the street, they have seen the documentary. There are people that don't have cable and don't have WTN, and so they didn't see the production yet. But whoever has seen it was positive about the fact that we spoke out, because the truth has to be told. 1 year after Irma, the help that was promised by the Dutch king did still not arrive to everybody, as he said, when he was on his way to our country. Yesterday self, we had a meeting with the head of the mission of the Red Cross, talking about how can we get more assistance for all the people that are still in need. And we have showed certain parts of the documentary. And they even want the documentary to show elsewhere. They are going to Bonaire this weekend. They're going back to Holland. They want to show they already have those kind of images, but with what the people are saying in the documentary, it makes it very lively. The statistics that was brought up in the documentary, it's something which is very informative and educative. So I think that the documentary has really achieved its objective. It has raised the awareness that help is still needed.
In addition to what Mr. Jizroom brought, it also raised the eyebrows of people, and they are really looking at the solutions of building stronger and better. You see, what happened is once the place was cleaned up, a lot of people are so busy with their own and either their job or rebuilding their own that they did not have time, but the documentary provided them that information of what is happening in other neighboring, let's say, areas, districts, because some people didn't have the time to go into other districts different to their direct neighbors. And it is an eye-opener. I have a lot of good feedback. It also put people to agree that help is still needed because of the fact that comparing Hurricane Louis and how the island bounced back, how the people bounced back, and comparing now the areas that was hit and the houses that was hit the most at Hurricane Louis version, there were the houses that was actually insured. So the monies of the insurance help circulate back into the economy and into the repair and into the building stronger of those houses, which we have the living proof in Ebenezer. But at this point in time, we have a lot of different type of households that was hit. Private households from the seniors, which people that have spent their whole life and livelihood in their home, households of people that were already in need of repair and was crying out for repair, so the structure got more damage, and people that are waiting, do not have the means, and decide, well, you know what, we need a roof over our heads. So even though after Louis, we heard the governor at that time, lieutenant governor at that time, saying we would not permit the rebuilding of shanty towns, you are still seeing certain houses that would fit the criteria of shanty, because the persons are waiting for help, doesn't have the means, in the meanwhile, mentally, they are preparing something to protect their family with the hope that they would get help to rebuild stronger.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
We had a teleconference with members from the BZK Recovery Program, the Ministries of VROMI, the Ministry of VSA, and with the RIVM. The discussion was about how we could put together an air quality monitoring program. So the RIVM, or the Kingdom Institute for Public Health and Environment, has a department called the Environmental Incident Services. So this is an arm under the Ministry of Public Health, Wellness, and Sports, where whenever they have an environmental incident, this is the entity that would go out and measure what exactly has been the impact. The Netherlands is making their services available to St. Martin so that we can put a proper air monitoring plan in place. So we're in the process of drafting a project plan. But keep in mind, what this will do is different than the tests that were much debated about, the ones that was done by E, E, and G, which is basically the equivalent of taking a test probe and putting it in the tailpipe of a car, measuring the exhaust, and trying to determine the quality of the automobile safety from that. So it gave really a very tight snapshot of what's happening at the dump. This is a different project. This will put monitoring equipment in different distances around the dump to measure what the more likely impacts to public health, to the citizens are. What this will do is it will give a snapshot. It will give a picture for a moment in time as to what the air quality is when the project is executed. And we're trying to look at some sort of a more sustainable measurement plan going forward as well. So we had very good discussions. This was a teleconference. In terms of what the scope of the project would be, as I mentioned, that we're starting to work on what the draft project plan would look like, and we're very grateful for the assistance.